What is Citrix experience about GDPR? Are the companies ready for taking care of their data as GDPR says?
I would say I think most organizations, I have to say, I think are not quite aware on what's coming along in May 25th next year. That's actually the day when GDPR comes active. What organizations need to know, that's a new approach of data regulation. So that means there are higher fines, they have to be compliant, they have to report breaches within 72 hours, and the specialty about this is it's not just protecting data, it's protecting also data when you process that to third parties, and it's even more important to also make sure that data, while it's transferred, while it's in transit, or while it's accessed, is also kept secure. So there's a huge bunch of new measurements, security measurements that have to be taken so that organizations are compliant or become compliant, right?
And what is Citrix help to the customers who would like to be compliant with GDPR?
Yeah. The real challenge is not just the regulation itself. The challenge is that in a world where people want to work from any device, anywhere, where customers say, I want to store my data in different kind of data centers, that with all that complexity that is needed for the user and the flexibility of the organization, to keep this open or multi-cloud approach even more secure. What Citrix does is any of our products are based on the basic principle to retain and keep data in the data center, and with the technology that Citrix once created, XenApp and XenDesktop for virtual apps and web apps, and even SaaS apps, we are just transferring the screen updates, the pixels, over the internet or over the connection to the device. So technically that means there is no data leaving the data center. That's what we call secure by design, because you keep it there but make it accessible from anywhere. So this is a basic idea of our security concept. The next thing is, whenever you need to exchange data to mobile devices, even bring your own devices, which basically mean as an organization, you cannot control device because it's maybe owned by the employee. We have technology with XenMobile and also ShareFile who allow a user to download data for offline purposes, but at the same time security mechanisms that control the data on a foreign device. So this multitude of services make a customer GDPR compliant because it was tailor-made to be an adequate solution regardless what the user does with data and applications.
As I understand, Citrix has a special approach to cloudification. Could you explain us how it is?
Yeah. So our product is called Citrix Cloud, but in fact it is not a cloud. I used to say more it's a workspace aggregator. If I look at Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, for instance, these companies own the data centers, they own the cloud infrastructure, they own the technology on top of it, and actually sell their services and keep the customer in their data centers. The approach from Citrix is that we believe, and statistics are proving us right, that customers don't want to have 100% of their IT infrastructure in just one location. We believe in the multi-cloud approach. That means the Citrix Cloud aggregates and orchestrates the sources, and source we mean a local data center of the customer, an infrastructure as a server environment from a local Hungarian provider, or even then a public cloud from Microsoft or Amazon. So we believe that when a customer can choose what, where, and why he can leave data, and that he can change that status quo whenever he wants to. For instance, the workloads are too expensive at Azure, so the customer wants to quickly move to somewhere else. We allow a customer the agility and the flexibility to say, without notifying Citrix, I can change the resource locations, the true cloud in our sense. I can move that on any infrastructure I want, and actually can store information wherever I want. And if I don't trust the public cloud providers, but just me. I could keep the data in my own data center while consuming Microsoft Azure services from an Azure cloud, but not having data and their services in the same locations. That's why we believe that our approach is the best one, because it leaves the choice to the customer and not the choice to the vendor.